Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial is these adorable Christmas candles. These are super easy to make. I came up with, well, I shouldn't say I came up with these. I decided to do the tutorial on these because my mother-in-law has had this set for several years, and I just thought they were so stinking cute. And I asked her, I said, can I please take one home so I can sit down, pick it apart, and recreate it for you guys for YouTube? So she let me bring that one home, and I sat down and I picked through all the stitches and recreated it. And I came up with a few different designs. Now this one has a pom-pom on it, and I thought, well, I really don't want to do a pom-pom. So I thought, I asked a good friend of mine, and he said holly would be really cute, or bows, or I thought maybe bells, a set of bells on it. But honestly, I ran out of time, and I thought I don't have time to design bells to put on these candles. So I thought, let's go with bows and holly. So what are you going to need? You are going to need, I have not attached this, a toilet paper roll, or 2 or 3, or you can, uh-oh, didn't mean to drop that. And of course I can't pick it up. Here we go. You can take a paper towel roll and just cut it at different lengths, you know, so you could have 1, 2 toilet paper length size from a paper towel roll, and then you can have just a little short one. So it gets you as many toilet paper rolls or paper towel rolls as you want. I do want to show you, I ran out of time again. I thought it would be really cute to take, you know, one the size of toilet paper, a toilet paper roll, and then I took 2 toilet paper rolls and shoved them together to make it just slightly tall. Well, let me get these out of the way. Slightly taller than the first one. And then I made another one that's slightly taller than the next one. So you could have those 3-pillar candle Christmas decorations. They always have them like on a tray or something, or surrounded in like a wreath or something like that. I thought that would be cute too. And of course, like I said, I didn't have enough time to do all of this. If I had time to do everything, I'd have 400 of these little candles everywhere. Different colors for different holidays. Halloween, Thanksgiving. Nope, that's not what I wanted. That. But anyway, so in the tutorial, we are going to make our candles. And I show you how to make the holly leaves and the berries and the bow. So what you are going to need, I have a hot glue gun for gluing the berries and the leaves together, and then I'm going to hot glue the decoration onto my candles. I just haven't done it yet. I kind of can't make up my mind what I want, a set of holly or a set of bows. Okay, so I used Red Heart Super Saver for these candles. This one I actually used Walmart Mainstays Red. So any 4-weight will work. Just scrap yarn is basically what I used. Red and green. The red is Red Heart Super Saver Cherry Red. The green is Mainstay green. And the other red is Mainstay just red. Now the flames, that is Red Heart Super Saver. Let me dig it out of my little tote here. Red Heart Super Saver bright yellow, and then the white is just Red Heart Super Saver white. So basically all this is made of is scrap yarn that I have in my little scrap pile. And then you are going to need a 5mm crochet hook and a 3.25. And the reason we need such a small hook are for these berries. And I do give you a warning before we start the berries. These berries are not easy. They probably will hurt your hands. So if you, what I thought maybe you could do is find like some Christmas decorations somewhere and maybe pop some of those fake holly berries they have on them. Pop some of those off and then glue them on here if you don't want to make the berries. I completely understand because it's tight, small stitches is what we work for those berries. So get you the yarn you need, your toilet paper roll, your hooks, needle to weave in your ends, and I do suggest a stitch marker or something to mark a stitch, scissors to weave in your end, your hot glue gun or however you want to attach, and that is it. That is all the supplies we're going to need. So get all that together, get all the colors that you want to make, and let's get started. Okay, so to get started, we are going to use our 5mm hook and our white yarn. Get a slip knot on your hook. Make sure you got plenty of tail to weave in. And we're going to start with a chain of 7. I need to adjust this for just a second. There we go. Okay, so get your chain of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're going to come down to this very first chain and we're going to slip stitch in there to form a ring. Just like that. And I'm going to take this tail and pull that tail tight to tighten down that slip stitch, or I mean that chain that we slip stitched into so it doesn't get real big. All right, now into the middle of this ring and working around our tail, we're going to work 19 double crochet into this ring, okay? So chain 1 and work your 19 double crochet in here. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, I'm not going to make you guys watch me do all 19, so you're going to have to pack them in here, but we can get it, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got all 19 worked. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. So I'm going to slip stitch to that first double crochet, chain 1 and pull up a loop, and we are going to go ahead and fasten off. Now this middle tail, we don't want to fully close the hole. We want to leave it just slightly open. So I am going to put my fingertips, like the little pad of my finger, put it in there and then pull that so it stays open. I mean, you cannot get it past where it's at right now, so it's perfectly fine, you know, if you can't go any tighter. And we're going to go ahead and weave in these ends. The reason being is because we're going to work one round of the color for our candle, and then we're going to stop and attach the flame, because if we don't, we're never going to be able to get inside there. There you go. Oop. Go ahead and weave in this tail. All right, so make sure you can see that double crochet that we slip stitched into, okay? If you need to, you can go ahead and mark it with a stitch marker. Oh, I forgot to cut it. Okay, so now we are going to go to the color that you want your candle. So I'm going to make another red one. Okay, sorry about that weird cut. All right, so now let's get a slip knot on our hook. And remember, plenty of tail. And I am actually just going to go right into that double crochet that we slip stitched into. You should be able to see if you count the shafts of your double crochets, 1, 2, or like the posts. Right there is that first one. We are going to back loop, single crochet. Well, first we're going to attach, back loop, slip stitch, chain 1, and then go ahead and take that tail and pull that to tighten that down. Pull it to the back of your work. And then we're going to go right back in there with this double crochet. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said single crochet. Back loop, double crochet. Now usually whenever I've got a pattern going, sorry about that, I feel like I got a step ahead of myself. We're going to back loop, double crochet into each of the doubles all the way around. I feel like I just took off there and didn't even tell you guys. I'm sorry. Back loop, double crochet into each of the double crochets all the way around. And what I was trying to say was that usually whenever I have a pattern that I'm working on or designing, whenever I work a back loop, a lot of the times I will tell you guys to go into the back loop. Like you have your 2 loops at the top of your stitch, and then if you rotate, there's another loop at the bottom, which you're never going to see in this white. But if you guys know what I'm talking about, this is the one or few patterns that I designed that we don't do that. And the only reason being is because we need this to make like a nice sharp turn like that. So even though it's a little tempting to do, don't work that into that additional back bump or back loop. Just about all the way around. So you should have 19 double crochet, back loop double crochet. So I'm going to count mine just to double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. All right. We are going to slip stitch to that first double crochet right there. Get that tail out of the way. And chain 1. Pull up a loop, and then we're going to set this to the side because we are going to go ahead and make our little flame, and then we're going to attach it, because if we don't and we work this whole piece and we don't attach this, you got to push it inside out, and then it stretches it really bad, and it's just easier to do it like this. So with a long tail for sewing, go ahead and get a slip knot on your hook. Turn my notepad to make sure. Okay, so we are going to chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Single crochet into that second chain from your hook. 1, and then we're just going to single crochet into each of the remaining chains. All right, chain 1, and I'm pull up a longer loop so you have a good tail for sewing. And cut, pull that tight, and then it's naturally going to want to twist like that. So now we are going to get one tail on your needle. My needle is getting rusty. And then bring your candle top over, and we're going to go in on one side with one tail and then in on one side of the hole with the other tail, okay? So I'm just going to go right through these stitches. Make sure you're going through a, what's the word I want to say? A stiff, something stiff to hold on to the yellow tail of our flame, because you don't want to, accidentally run it through the hole and then not have anything to hold your flame on. Clear as mud, right? All right, now I'm going to go just straight opposite through the legs of all those doubles, and then turn it over. And I'm going to tie it in a knot. Now don't pull it too tight because it'll distort the top of the candle. So just pull it like that. Tie it in a knot just like that. And there's your little flame. Now I'm not going to weave in these tails, but I am going to cut them down to where they're a little shorter. It's perfect. If you get too close to that knot, I mean, I'm sure after storage or kids playing with it or whatnot, those tails will get close to that knot, and then it can start fraying, and then you'll see it. And so I just like to leave them a little longer like that, then just tuck them into the top. So while we are at it, we are going to go ahead and weave in this tail. Now you can see there's a little bit of a gap right there. So what I'm going to do is take my tail this way through the legs of these red doubles and then bring it back and cut it. So it'll close up that gap a little. So I'm going to go right through these legs. Now don't pull it too tight or it will, mess up the shape of the candle. Well, I should say mess up the stitches, and it'll leave a gap somewhere else. There, just like that. And cut. Okay, now we can continue on with our candle. So that was round 2, right? That we just finished? Yeah. All right, so for round 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, you're going to work 1 double crochet into each double all the way around. So we're going to double right back into that same double we just slip stitched into, and then double into all of the doubles all the way around. I'm going to go ahead and get this round done real quick on camera. Do, 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 do. I think these are really cute, and a friend of mine suggested, he says, Alana, you could make one in like all kinds of different holiday colors and have one for each, or a set for each holiday. And I was like, that's genius. I love it whenever you guys give me ideas that I never would have thought of. Like he suggested you could make purple candles with, orange and black and green embellishments for Halloween. And all right, so anyway, I worked that all the way around. Right there was that last double, and right here is a slip stitch. Right there, that's my chain 1, and that's the first double crochet. So I'm going to go right into that first double crochet and slip stitch. All right, so that was round 3. So repeat the exact same thing for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, okay? I am going to get mine done off camera, and I will be right back. Okay, so I have worked This is round 1. Here's round 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'm going to slip stitch to my first double crochet. Chain 1 and pull up a loop. All right, so now I want to explain with my tension and the hook and everything, you know, all of the variables. Your candle, you have to give it a little bit of a stretch, get the toilet paper roll in there. There, just like that. So with my tension and everything, my work is just a tad bit shy of the bottom of my toilet paper roll, right? So you can see the white part of my candle is, you know, on the inside hole of the, you know, inside my toilet paper roll. So it's nice and straight at the top, just like this. You don't want your white coming over the edge, and that's how I'm setting. So for round 10, this is going to be an optional round, depending on your tension and everything. If you're already, you know, right at the edge or just a hair past the edge of your toilet paper roll, you don't need to work round 10. But if you're like mine with my tension and everything, I need just another round, but a double crochet is going to be too much. So I am going to work a round of half double crochets to get to the length I need. So you, like I said, you may not need to do this, or you may be already there and it may be perfect. Mine's just a tad bit short, so I will work a round of half double. So I'm going to leave this round up to you guys whether you need it or not. You know, depending on your tension and the yarn you're using and, you know, all the different variables that gives everybody a different tension, you may or may not need this round. And heck, you may need a round of double crochet, not a round of half double. Oh, and I forgot to tell you guys, I literally finished round 8 and realized I was using the wrong color red. This is the red that I used for my holly berries instead of the red that I use on my candle, which on camera you guys can't tell, but in person you can tell the difference. This is Walmart's Mainstay yarn, so in real person it's pretty dull, but on camera it's awfully bright. And the other red that I used is actually Red Heart Super Saver Cherry Red. Anyway, all right, so I worked that round of double or half double, so I'm going to slip stitch to my first. Come on now. There we go. And chain 1. Pull up a loop, and we are done with this part. You can go ahead and weave in that end if you want to, but I'm going to tape that down real quick. All right, so you may need to give it a little bit of a stretch again. Get that in there. Making sure the white part is inside of my toilet paper roll. And there we go. That's perfect. If it's slightly past, like you see how, well, there, now you can. See how it's slightly past? That's perfectly okay. Perfect. All right. So I'm going to take my toilet paper roll out. And now we are going to go to our white, or whatever color you want to use for the base of your candle. I'm going to go with white for mine. And I've got all these different tails tangled up. Okay. We are going to get a slip knot on our hook. Make sure you got plenty of tail to weave in. And into any of the double crochets, doesn't matter which, I'm going to, for my sake, I'm going to go right back into the same one that I slip stitched into. Right in there, slip stitch, chain one. I said doubles, I'm sorry, into any of the half doubles on mine. And what we're going to do is we are going to go right back into the same double crochet, or half double, or double if you didn't do this round. We're going to go right back in there and work 2 double crochet. And you can work over your tail if you want to. I'll weave mine in a little bit. All right, so then into the very next half double, we're going to work 3 double crochet. Two double crochet into the next, 3 into the next, and that's what we're going to repeat all the way around. 2 double into the next, 2 double into the next, 3 into the next, 2 3 2 3 2 3, all the way around, and I will meet you at this last stitch. Now you should, it should end, if you go ahead and work the last one before I do, it should end with 2 double into the very last one. If it doesn't, it's not a big deal at all. We just want a pretty ruffle. That's all we're going for. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and work my 2 double, 3 double, 2 double, 3 double, all the way around, and I will be right back. All right. I think that was a cat hair. I repeated that all the way around, and I ended with 2 double into the very last. So I'm going to slip stitch to my first, which I know is a little hard to see on camera, this white yarn. All right, and now I'm going to chain 1, and then into each of the double all the way around, we're going to work 2 double crochet. So go right back into the same double you slip stitched into and work 2 double. You guys can hear that, that's Churchy snoring. All right, and work 2 double into each of the double crochet all the way around. A cat. All right, so I am going to let you guys work that off camera, and I'm going to get mine done, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I have repeated that all the way around, and you should have a nice wavy base. Just like that. All right, so I'm going to slip stitch to my first double crochet right there. Chain 1, pull up a loop, cut, and I will weave that in a little bit. And for the last round of our candle, whichever color you want, I'm going to go back to my red. I am going to go right back into that double crochet that I slip stitched into. So right there is my slip stitch, chain 1, there's the top of my double right there. I am going to go right back in there with a slip stitch and a chain 1 with the, I guess I should tell you what we're doing. We're just going to work this last round on the base of the candle. Where am I at? Here we go. So I'm going to go right back into that double that I just slip stitched into with a slip stitch, chain 1. I'm going to go ahead and pull that tail tight to the back. And I'm going to go right back in there with a single. And that's what we're going to work all the way around. 1 single into each of our doubles. All right, so I'm going to let you guys work that off camera, and I'll be right back. All right, I am back, and I've worked that all the way around. I've got 1 more double right there to work into. And now I'm going to slip stitch to my first single right here. That doesn't feel right. There we go. All right, slip stitch, chain 1, pull up a loop, make sure you got enough tail to weave in. Pull that tight, and there is our candle. You can put it on your toilet paper roll and set it down, and then you can go through here and make this wave however you want it to. Ta-da! Man, I wish I would have noticed sooner that my reds were different. Which, like, I mean, I think you can barely tell on camera, but in person you can definitely tell. All right, so I am going to stop here. I'm going to get my ends weaved in, and when I come back, we are going to make, I'm going to show you guys how to make the little bows. And then I'm going to show you how to make the holly leaves and the berries, which they're really easy. All right, I will get all these ends weaved in, get this cleaned up, and yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got my candle all done, all my ends weaved in. So let's start on the little embellishments. Let's just go ahead and start with this holly first. So there's different ways you can put it on your candle. I kind of flattened out a piece of the bottom right there. Well, I tried. And then you can hot glue it right there. Or you can go up to the middle of the candle. That'd be pretty too. Just like that. All right, let's start with the leaf. So I am going down to that 3.25 millimeter. And I have green. Is this Super Saver? Nope, this is Mainstays. Mainstays. Yeah, it just says green. All right, so we are going to start with the slip knot on our hook and make sure you have plenty of tail to weave in your end. I don't know what is going on, but something is off with my camera. The stand, the way it's, I don't know, something is off. Maybe that's better. All right, so we're going to start with a chain of 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Somebody needs me. Hold on just a second. Okay, sorry about that. All right, once you get your chain of 9 done, we are going to go into the second chain from our hook. So right here, not this chain, but this chain. And we are going to work 1 single crochet. Into the next chain, we're going to work a half double. Into the next 4 chains, we're going to work a double crochet. One, 2, 3, 4. Into the next chain, we're going to work a half double. Into the very last chain, we're going to work 4 single crochets. And as we work the 4 into this last chain, we're going to rotate our work, and then we're going to come down this side of the chain. So right into that last chain with 1. I'm going to lay this tail. My hands are cold, so everything leaves an indentation in my fingers. And I'm going to lay this tail along this side of the chain and work over the top of it. So that's 1, 2, rotating it, 3, rotate it again, and there's 4. All right, so now we are going to be working on the opposite side of our chain, and I want to show you guys. So it's a little hard to see the other side of the chain, but when you hold your work like this, you can see right here, that is the legs, or I should say leg, of the half double. There's the leg of our double, double, double. There's the leg of our next double, half double, and then down here, the little bitty, sorry, that little bitty right here, that is our single crochet. So instead of trying to find, you know, where the other side of the chain actually starts and where the legs end, all I'm going to do is when I work my stitch, I'm just going to put my hook right where these legs are and just push it through. And dang it, I bumped it again. And that is the remaining loops on this side. That's the remaining loops of our beginning chain 9. So get back on. All right, so into the next one, the next remaining loops of our chain, we're going to work a half double. So I'm going to yarn over and just set my hook right where those legs are and just push it through. And I am working over that tail too. It's a half double, and now into the next 4, I'm going to work my double. I'm going to go ahead and drop my tail. So if I look, I can see where the legs, the post of that double are. The post of that double is. Yarn over and just go put your hook right where the legs are and push it through. So there's 1. Here's the next one. I can see the legs right there. 2. See the next one where the legs are? Just set my hook right there and push it through. There's 3. 1 more. There's 4. All right, now I'm going to half double into the next. So I'm just going to go right where those, so if I hold it like this, here's the post, here's where the little legs are. Just push it right through there for a half double. And then, if it's kind of hard to see, but if you just look, here's the very first single crochet. Just come down to this end. Right here's the little bitty legs. Push it through, and we're going to single into the last. So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 stitches. Okay? So now we are going to slip stitch to this very first single crochet. And then we're going to slip stitch into the next single. And I've got the squeaks. I'm going to pause for just a second. Just slip stitch into the very first single, slip stitch into the next single, and I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. All right. So now we slip stitch into that second single crochet. So we're going to chain 1, and we're going to go right back into that same single that we slip stitched into and work a single crochet. So you can go ahead and mark that if you want to. It's not necessary, but okay, so we're going to single crochet into the next. I am trying to get my hook to stop squeaking. Okay. And then into the next, we're going to work a single, a chain 3 picot, and a single. So single, chain 3, and then come down, and we're going to slip stitch into the back loop of that very first chain. So right here, and try to get all 3 strands. There, I got it. slip stitch, and there's our picot, and we're going to go right back into that same stitch with a single. Just like that. All right, now single into the next two. One. Oh, didn't mean to do that. There we go. Okay. So into the next stitch, we're going to work the single, chain 3 picot, 2, 3. Come, you can see your 3 back loops right there. We're going to come down to this first one and slip stitch. Go right back into that same stitch with a single crochet. Dang it, I keep splitting my yarn. I got the squeaks again. Okay, so now, about pulled that right off. Single crochet into the next 2. 1. There we go. 2. Into the next, we're going to work our picot, or well, our single, chain 3 picot, come down, slip stitch into the 3rd. Sorry, it's squeaking. Go right back in there with a single. And then we're going to single crochet into the next 2. 1, 2. Into the next, single, chain 3, slip stitch to the back loop of the first chain, back into the same stitch with a single, single into the next 2. Get me some slack. And then single into the next, chain 3, slip stitch into the back loop of the chain, the first chain, go right back in there with a single, and we are going to single into the next 2. Oops, missed. And then slip stitch to the next stitch, chain 1, pull up a loop, and cut. And there's your holly leaf. So make 2 and weave in your ends. I'm going to go ahead and weave in the ends of my 2, and then we're going to make a berry. Okay, so I have gotten my ends weaved in on my leaves, and I want to take a minute to apologize that I kept pausing and starting and pausing and starting that video. It was just like, go figure, as soon as I started filming, you know, somebody's trying to contact me. Anyway, all right, so leaves are done. We are now going to start our berries. So I have 2 of them right here, and you can see the difference in the red. This is the one that I wanted to use to make the berries to begin with, and this is the color I wanted to use to make my candle. That's all right. Okay, so I do want to give you a bit of a fair warning. This is not easy. This is going to be rough on your hands. So you may want to find something else, or, maybe you can find fake holly berries on some kind of Christmas decorations and pop them off and glue them on this. I just want you guys to know that this is not the easiest, and it is probably going to hurt your hands. But I am going to get a slip knot on my hook. Make sure you got plenty of tail. And I'm still using that 3.25. And this is probably going to squeak. I'm sorry. It's the cheap yarn and cold hook. But we're going to start with chaining 2. So 1, 2. And right back into that very first chain, we're going to work 6 single crochet. And you can mark your first one if you want to. There's 1. I'm going to go ahead and mark mine. 2. 'Get my tail out of the way. 3. 4. 5. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm going to pull this tail tight, close up that chain that we worked into, and now we're going to work 1 single crochet into those 6. And this is what's hard. Let me get myself adjusted here. So I'm going to pull this so I can see that first single crochet clearly. Go right in there with 1. Mark it. 2. 3. 4. Here's 5. This is harder to do on camera. There, I got it. There's 5. And right here is 6. Okay, so now pull up a loop. And you can see that it kind of like caved in on itself, right? So what we're going to do is turn this right side out. So I'm going to push the bottom of my crochet hook. Is about the easiest thing I've found to do this. Just set my hook there and then work all my stitches up like that. So now the front of my single crochets are on the outside of the berry now. Just like that. So now this middle tail, I'm going to pull that again, and then take my scissors and I'm just going to trim it just a little. Let's go there. And take my hook and stuff that back inside. Just like that. All right. Now we are going to single crochet into the very first one. So the one we have marked. 1, and then into the next 3. So 4 single crochets. We already did 1. Here's 2. Here's the next one is 3. And the next one right there is 4. And that's all we're going to work. Slip stitch into the next single, chain 1, and then pull up a longer tail so we have some tail to sew with. Pull that tight, And now you can squish it like this a bit. What I'm going to do, well, excuse me, Pooksy, what are you doing? My cat just jumped up here. Hi, Pooksy. This is our outside girl that we brought in for the winter because she's getting older and we don't want to leave her outside. Any other time she's a tough girl and she can take the cold, but she's like our little black bear. But the older she gets, the more I worry about her, so we decided to bring her in. She had a little bit of a hairball. Are you gonna go, Pooksy? She's our little squeaker. Whenever her purr gets to go and she gets to squeaking. Let's see if I can get her to do it. Hi, Pooksy Pooksy. She can do it. Okay, anyway, get that tail on your needle, and all I'm going to do is run the needle in and out, in and out. And I'm not going to do every stitch. Let's go in here, go in and out. Then I'm going to pull it tight. Excuse me. Pull that tight. And I'm just going to take this. I don't like how that's sticking out, so I'm going to catch it. And I'm going to go right through the center and then come out the side of the berry. I don't want to go straight through that hole at the bottom of the berry because it's just going to make it bigger, and I don't want that. So I'm just going to pull it through the side, pull it tight, and it creates a little ball. And then I am going to cut that as close to the berry as I can get, and if you just kind of like wiggle it around in your fingers, that tail will go back inside. And there's your little berry. So make 2 more of those, or however many you want for your holly, and come back. I'm going to go ahead and go get Pook set up somewhere so she doesn't have to sit here and lick herself and purr very, very loudly in the middle of my tutorial. Thank you, Pooksy. I'll be right back. Okay, I've got her situated. I took a bath towel and folded it and laid it on the floor, so she went and perched on it. Okay, so I've got my hot glue gun heated up, and so if you look at pictures of holly, a lot of times the leaves are angled down like this, and then you got the 3 balls in the middle, the 3 berries in the middle. That's how I like mine. You guys can do it however you want, you know, angled up a little bit. I like it just slightly down. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my 2 leaves, and I'm just going to run a little bead of hot glue right there. Get that mixed around. I'm going to lay them. That was a little close. It's all right if it's a bit messy right here. It's going to be covered up by my berries. Okay. I like it like that. So I'm going to add another little drop in there. Just like that. Now, I'm going to take, I think I like them like that. So I'm going to hold 2 of them right here. Just run a little hot glue in there. Put another little dollop and then squish this one in there. Just like that. Uh-oh, I glued it to my table. Gotta love hot glue. Alright, so I am going to set that to the side. That's hot. Set that to the side and let this cool. And while that's cooling, I'm going to go ahead and shut this off. While that's cooling, let's go ahead and make our bow. So these bows are really easy. I'm going to go back to my 4mm. Where did I set it? My, not 4. Hold on just a second. I can't find my hook now. Found it. 5mm hook was what I was trying to find. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and make another green bow since I've got two red candles. All right, so get a slip knot on your hook. Plenty of tail. Actually, we need quite a bit of tail. So I'm going to pull it out about a good foot and then make a slip knot. So I got a good length of tail. Oops, sorry about that. The reason being is because we're going to use that for the center of the bow. All right, so get that on our hook. Pull that. All right, so we are going to start with a chain of 25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. All right, we are going to double crochet into the third chain from our hook. So 1, 2, 3. Double crochet right into there. And then work 1 double crochet into each of the remaining chains. All right? So you're just going to double crochet all the way down your chain. I'm not going to make you guys watch me do this, so I'm going to pause and get this done, and I'll come back once I get that last double crochet into the last chain. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, so I've double crocheted all the way down my chain, worked into that last one. We're going to chain 1 and turn, double crochet into that very first double crochet, and then double into each of your doubles all the way across. And I'm going to go ahead and double into the top of that chain too as well. Of course, I'm going to get this done off camera. I'll come back before I work that double crochet into the top of that chain too, so I can work that with you guys. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so I've double crocheted into each of my doubles, and there's my last double. Here's that chain 2, and you can see what's facing me is the side loop of that chain, and then right here is the back loop of it. So what I'm going to do is double crochet through the back, or well, what I should say is work my double crochet around the back loop and that side loop. It's not 100% necessary. I mean, if you don't catch both of those loops, it's not going to, you know, make or break your project, but or your bow anyway. Okay, so that last double, we are going to chain 1, and we're going to pull up another long loop because we are also going to use that. So pull that tight, set that to the side, and now I'm going to get my needle and pooksy hair and get some of this green yarn that we just used. I'm going to thread that onto my needle. And we are going to bring our 2 ends, the 2 short ends of our bow, we're going to bring those together so that the top of that last double crochet that we just made is facing out like this. And all we're going to do is take our yarn that's threaded on our needle, and we're just going to stitch these 2 ends together. Nothing fancy. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're just stitching them together so it stays together. All right. So there, I'm going to go ahead and cut. I'm going to hide these two ends. The two ends from sewing the sides together, not the two tails that we're going to use to make the center of our little bow. I'm going to go ahead and bring this to this side. And then just run that through some stitches. And then just snip that. Do the same thing down here. Well, mess that up. I'm going to bring it to this side. And then just go ahead, get out of here. Go ahead and weave, or not weave, but hide the ends through the legs. Just like that. Okay. Oops, there we go. Okay, so now we are going to take these two long tails that we have, take our piece, we're going to take this seam that we have sewn, and we're going to fold it in half and make sure that's about as best you can right in the middle of your work. And we're going to take these two ends and we're going to wrap them, pull it tight, and then wrap and wrap until it's about as tight as you like it. We'll adjust the sides of our bow in a minute. Pull that tight. Pull it tight. All right, so once you get it to about as tight or as thick as you would like, there we go. I'm gonna trim this longer one just so I don't have to work with all that extra. And holding on to the two strands right here, actually I'm gonna grab a different needle, and I am going to take one, thread it on my needle. I'm going to bring it under, it doesn't have to be all of them, but under a bunch of the loops. Bring it through one side and do the same thing with this tail. I'm going to do it through the opposite side. Just like that. There. Now it should stay in place, and then we can adjust it in a minute. Cute. Okay, so I'm just going to tie these in a knot in the back. And then hide the tails. I'm just going to hide them inside my bow. Snip them, and there you go. There is your little bow. So now I'm going to come through here and just kind of move it around, wiggle it the way I like it to look. Just like that. And then you can do the same thing with your bow. You can put it midway up the candle. Let me move my camera here. You do it midway up the candle. You can do it low at the bottom. Lay it down like this, more on the, you know, the frilly part of our candle. Just hot glue it there, or you can hot glue it, you know, at the base of the candle. However you want. Okay guys, so there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed my little tutorial. I think these are adorable. And like I said in the tutorial, my friend said, you know, you could do these in all different colors for different holidays. It's a super easy decoration and quick and just too cute. With this green one, I thought about, so like instead of the bow, I thought about, you know, the berries. That's too much green. So I thought, well, what about a bell? And I was just like, I don't have time to try to design a bell. So I thought, let's just do a bow and go from there. So you guys can come up with all different kinds of little decorations you can put on these candles, or no decoration at all. They're still cute. All right, thank you guys for watching. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't so you don't miss what's next. And leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys thought about these. Check out that description box down below. I have links to all kinds of different things for you guys. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.